Good morning. I am higher vibrations, and so are you. And boy, oh boy, have we a show for you. Along with what the energy is right now, we're on a 5-5 portal. Happy Cinco de Mayo, y'all. There's a lot of really amazing synchronicities and codes that we've been picking up. And so, this uh, this show today with my dear friend Elsa wasn't planned very far in advance, but I kind of feel like we're always planning for our next show. So we'll see how today is going to be really exciting. I'm looking forward to. We have a varied list of topics, not even a list, but just stuff has been in full download mode. So anyway, um, while we enjoy that, but if I forget, I need to say we are enjoying the human being back online. Check out the KP index; it still hasn't gone down very much. So there's a lot of energy moving through us. Anyway, Elsa, welcome. How are you today?
Thank you, Mila. It's so nice always to see you. Uh, I speak of you to so many. I know I've got a bit more of a new audience that are coming in to meet you probably today. And I just want you to know that Mila has been here for so many, helping people through their awakening process symptoms. It's the most and it's a thing. It really is. As we awaken and go through all these layers, it brings up major symptoms in us. And I met Mila. It's nearly 3 years, is it? 3 years.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, is it?
It's,
No, it's
I
four
can't.
4 years.
What? Oh,
It's
look,
gotta
it's
be.
something years.
Yeah,
But when
feels
I
like
met
much
her,
longer.
I Well, when I met her, I she said, "Come and meet me on my show and come and meet me with my group." And so I did, and it's a groups of people coming together, sharing around the world, family members, what they're going through, and through this, they're healing each other. It is so incredible watching it. Not only the healing through spiritual things or ghosts or ETs or those occurrences, but also what's going on and reflecting in their body, in their plumbing, in their cars, in their washing machines,
Yeah,
in their pets. And through this sharing has created a community, then another bubble of community, another bubble. So these communities from Mila have merged off as it should.
yeah.
As it should, because Mila was like, I can't talk to them all at once. How am I? I'm just me. I'm just Mila. And they've just bubbled off, right? And it comes through one being brave enough to say, okay, well, it is what it is. I've got to get it out and share. And that's what we're doing. And that's why I as soon as I met Mila, I was like, well, she's doing it, I'm doing it. She's doing it her way, I'm doing it my way, and it's working.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
since I met you, how much has the world changed? It's been huge.
I don't have
Absolutely.
a way to measure that. It's so massive.
Yeah.
This
And
was July 2022, wasn't it?
yeah, oh yeah, it's it helped me to shift, then it helped Mila to shift. So it was
Mhm.
like, okay, Mila's like, "Okay, well, there's 10 of you, we'll get you organized." I'm just talking in spirit sort of thing now. We'll get me Elsa because 'cause she's gotta shift because she's just had a flood.
Right.
So we'll
Yeah.
shift Elsa, I'll bring in the big guns, we'll have some Bigfoot on the land, we'll do the whole thing for her, and then got Elsa shifted, got Elsa settled, and then Mila goes, okay, now it's Mila's turn. She's got to shift. So we shifted Mila over to the other side of the country. Both of us didn't have those plans.
Yeah.
We had just surrendered to those plans, right?
Mhm. Exactly.
So, so I'm going to tell you how this starts for me. I believe Mila goes, look, I want to do a show, and it's not usual that Mila has such a definite like this. I'm going to do the show, and it's about ancient Egypt, ancient Greece, and 444. And I was
Yeah.
like, wow, and that's really definite. I remember reading the email, and I felt like a foot stamped down on the ground as well, and I was like, "Oh, this has got a little bit of zing to it." Anyway, I didn't have anything come to me, and I helped Gemma out our front gate. So we drive up to the front gate because it's far from the farmhouse. Drive up to the front gate, let Gemma out, and Gemma says to me, who's the warrior, like Mila, she says, "Mum," and she pulls out her side door pocket a white feather and says, "This is for you," and passes it across the window to me as I as she drives out, and I shut the gates. I was like, "Wow, a white feather." The white feather's huge for me here. White feather has had huge shifts. Sometimes they're as clouds, but they're always major angel. It's like, all right, bring in the big one, and I always feel like it's Gabrielle.
Mm.
Um, it's Heka. Heka is we always say there's the three. So we have Archangel Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael. And Gabriel is the biggest one. He guards heaven's gates, literally. And I know that people who know me more personal know that the fact that it was given at the gate was huge for me.
Mm.
Anyway, so I'm walking back to the house, scratching my head, going, I know this has got to do with Mila. She's in on this. I know it. I'm walking back to the house, and they said it's landed upon you. And I was like, okay, landed upon me. I'm going, has this got to do with the meteors or something? Sure enough, one of the ancient deities that assisted with the underworld, they say, only, but I never believe all of what I read, so I sit with it. It was Maat. Maat is Maat. It's also spelt Maet and Meet. Meat is meat, and this is what we are. And mate was designed, her feather was on top of her head. You look at mate, it looks like a hippocampus unicorn. Our
Wow.
last show. I know. And I was like, no wonder Mila had to stamp her foot down on this one. She's not mucking around. So what would happen is they would weigh your heart to see whether you should go to heaven or hell. This was the cute Westerners deciphering the ancient Egyptians.
Yeah.
What's important is when you're reading dialect from other realms, you're not in their realm. So you're not quite getting the whole show. So you're getting it on your version, which is like watching a movie.
Right.
I know. I can see me. Let's fuck that. Anyway, so what they would do is they measure your heart. Now, as understanding heart, because I've visited more than one realm,
Right.
by understanding heart is your spleen, not your dorsal, not the pump. They changed it. So
Right.
if they're measuring your spleen, what are they weighing your heart, your spleen for? They're weighing it to see if you have too many of the others in there.
Okay.
Because if you have too many of the others in there, you may infect the others who don't have those, who have a lean on it, a spleen on it. They
Uh,
see the lean. Do you see what I'm saying? You know
yeah.
what they put it on? They put it on scales, which is code. Salmon code.
Mm-hmm.
This is like every single Mila show I've done has just spilled out in this one white feather moment from Gemma. The synchronicity of it and the timing of this was like minutes. And
Wow.
and what I'm showing an example of a crazy lady in Australia with 8 kids is that I'm okay with the information. I'm okay that I don't actually understand it and I'm not an expert in it, but I also feel that it rings true and it resonates in me. And I know that this is going to assist someone or myself, or my family. I just don't know how or who or when. And I'm okay with it. And this is part of how we become true creators because you just
Right.
allow. So that's my Mila. And this is what happens. Mila just sends one text and it sends me off on 2 weeks of 2 weeks of play. So
Wow, that's awesome.
amazing, Mila. So thank you for that message because
Yeah. Man, you got so
it's
much.
man, right?
Uh, by the way, a feather pointing up, um, finding a feather pointing upwards might also signify that you are on the correct path. It can represent connection to the sky, the air element, spirituality, and a potential for emotional or mental grounding. Like there's some real symbolism because you showed the feather and it was pointing up, and having the feather point up means whatever direction it's pointing it, that there's further meaning to it. And she, so that whole I that so did you know the correlation, by the way, to the time that we're in now? Man, I have so many notes. I have a whole page already. I don't think I'm going to answer all of what you said.
No.
But we'll try. We'll see how
I
this
know
goes because it's a
it's
fun.
huge, right? And the
Yeah.
other thing I wanted to bring up is Mila always said the year I turned 4 because I
Yeah.
was thinking because Matt isn't if I'm saying it incorrectly, I'm sorry, but it's Matt. It can be interpreted as mutt, which is the dog prophecy. Mat is also what you stand on, your feet. You clean your feet. Mat is meat, me-e-t.
Right.
It's pointing up, Mila, and we've got we had the Eta, we had the Lyrids. They're all connected with Halley's Comet.
Yeah.
This is the one that's connected to the one in the Bible called Beetle Guys.
Right.
Beetle Guys, really? Or Beetlejuice, same thing.
Yeah.
Who's the Beetlejuice for? Because the scarab is deals with, you know, feces and shit. And
Right.
it's saying these symbols are saying to us, deal with it. Um, and it touches on topics that humans go, oh, we don't talk about that.
Yeah.
We don't talk about those things on TV because it smells or, but
Right.
they used to measure it. Like they would measure it in us, the
Yeah.
scales.
Right. Yeah.
It's huge, right? And meat, like being our flesh, meat, me-e-t, meat is Taurus.
Right. Man, and
Oh,
sorry, I was gonna jump. Are you
no, I want you to jump.
okay?
I've been
So
jumping for
something
2
that's
days.
happening actually today is, do you know that who Ceres is in the gods of old? Ceres is Persephone. Persephone is the goddess of the underworld. The goddess of the underworld was brought down by, this is the story of the ancient Greek story of it. She was brought down by Hades. He wanted to take her as a wife. And um, the legend of it goes that her mother, who was responsible for summer, was so distraught that the first winter was had across the land when Hades took Persephone, her daughter, her one love, down into the underground. So she went to Jupiter and begged that he help bring her daughter back. Um, and so, as Persephone was to be retrieved, the agreement was that she was going to for good. However, Hades gave her, oh goodness, what is it called? I ate some yesterday. It's a type of there's these little beads that you see in a lot of the Greek food. They eat them a lot. It's the little red. There's seeds inside of them. You have a. It's what's it called?
Not
Anyway,
chickpeas.
I don't know. You may have different
No.
words for it, but anyway, that's so funny. I'll remember it. It doesn't. Pomegranate. Thank you, Lynn. I was not able to remember pomegranate. So he gave her a pomegranate seed before she left. She had been unfed, and the legend of it goes that the eating something from that place at that time would make it so she couldn't go up above ground permanently. So therefore, this is what caused her to then be having to go down into the underworld half time of the or half of the year, and that's when her mother weeps. All of this, I know I went on for a long time. There's a lot of significant stories that we find throughout the ages that are trying to tell us of things now. And Ceres is in conjunctive North Node right now, today. Ceres is Persephone. And you brought up deity of the underworld. And that was like, wow, that's something that's happening right now.
So when you look at the symbolism of Mart, a lot of the time it looks like the hippocampus. So it's memory.
Right.
Pomegranate is one of the key ones for parasite and virus cleanse. One thing I have been going on for many years now, my family is so over it. I feel sorry for my family. Is that they are ancient alien DNA within us. But because they're so clever, there's 700,000 of them. They are not bacteria. Bacteria are different. Bacteria are much bigger
Right.
in microscopic land. There's many versions. There are one that is like an accelerator. So it's the one that most of us have in us. You can't really catch it. It sort of almost comes through our DNA, through birth, through the mothers.
Right.
And you speak of this a lot. They are the ones that need us to be weak.
Yeah.
But, now that so many are awakening, they're saying, how can they do all this plane spray? Who's doing all this? If they live here, they're making themselves weak.
Yeah.
I don't think they are.
Yeah.
They've got a big ship carrying them around and they're
Right.
completely insulated and they're embedded in our channels, in our brain, in our spleen, in our liver. And if these channels are blocked, which we speak about and Mila speaks about a lot on her shows, there's a process to removing them. And if you get rid of them before your channels are clean, this can take you out as well.
Yeah. 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 It's
And
true.
it's like you said, it's all connected to Sirius. It's kept us serious. This is the same word as science. It's the dog star. This came in with the Roman and the Roman republics. It came in and something changed in this era. And this is when they started creating language, religion, science, schooling.
Right.
And it's, we all have Roman in us. Even in the Celts, they are Romans. Yeah, so this is not an attack on one civilization when I'm speaking. This is all of us. We all stem from the same. It's just by understanding where these things and these words came from, it sort of really does Jenga the whole matrix, so you don't have to live this suffering.
Yeah. 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 And the fact that it's Ceres. It's interesting. You got that code. That was really useful. Ceres, Ceres, is what they are classifying as a dwarf planet, and it's one of our 16 planets that they don't account for that truly affect us. They're basically, we know we get like the Swan comet's still affecting us now. The Swan has gone to the light. So now the swan is, because we called it the black swan, it feels now that it has become the white swan. And it's because it's flip flopped. What happens when you get the negative from a photograph, film, and then you print? It that just happened. It filled it in.
Mila, the match the symbol when you look at the hieroglyphs, it looks like a swan as well. Swan. Okay, this see, she does it to me all the time. Okay, so a black swan effect is the impossible possible. Basically, and quickly, this is the other one I go on about. It's in a lot of maps. Black swan is only black swans were only in Australia, but no one knew of black swan. They were imaginary.
Right.
So if you talked about a black swan, you were classed as a conspiracy theorist because there was no such thing. Swan goes deep. Swans were owned by the royal family. You weren't allowed to eat swans, only the royals were. And not only did they own the domestic swans, they owned all the wild swans. And I'm like, how does that work? So
Yeah.
if you yeah, so they said they imagine it's just some naughty kid on the school bus, Mila, going, all the swans in the whole world are mine. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you weren't allowed to eat swans like you really want to anyway, but they stick their neck out. The
Yeah.
symbol, the saying, they stick their neck out. When you look at Loch Ness Monster, it looks like the hippocampus. It looks like the same shape as a swan. Dinosaur, Brontosaurus. Yeah, so it's all the
Loch Ness
spined ones.
monster.
Yeah, all the spined ones. I have this one fly, and he's so happy with what we're talking about. He will not leave me alone. Oh gosh, it's so fun. Um, anyway, so yeah, so when we say there's black swan coming over and it's switched to the white, which is Gemma giving me the white feather, not a black feather. Usually the white feather comes in truce.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the white flag.
Yeah, yeah, it's like you can slow down now, you can slow your horses down or slow the cars down. You've crossed the finish line. But once you finish a race, you have all the after race, all the processions, um, the big hugs. Oh, we
Yeah.
did it! And then you have debriefing of it. You'll have people, newsreaders, come up and ask all what happened, and ask about the winner, and ask about the horse that fell over or the jockey that fell off. Like, you have a debriefing. This is kind of where I feel we are now.
Yeah, I do too. I do too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of turbulence like in all of this, and I would say that that's the most frequently reported thing. I mean, because it can kind of connect or combine all of the different experiences and with one defining word, turbulence. Because the highs are extreme. We're crossing some type of threshold into a higher frequency than this body's used to experience, and so it feels incredibly euphoric. So the tiny drops that we're getting feel really pronounced, and so there's that. But that's just like a side. There's so many of those types of things happening regarding ascension symptoms in body, in mind, in spirit, in soul, this heart stuff that you brought up. You were actually been, I have so many notes. I literally have 3 notebooks sitting in front of me now. But like, you have, man, covered so much. However, this turbulence that we're all experiencing has to very much do with this debriefing period that we're in. It's like getting home after a long summer of playing and dumping out your pockets and finding all the stones and shells and the little treasures that you've picked up through the months. And it can feel arduous. It can feel, you'll also notice that you're tired. You're more exhausted right now because you need rest. We're sifting through our new discoveries.
It's the Mila colony, melon colony. Well, well, it is. So you'll have everyone's version who was in the race. So there's not usually one person in the race. There's 20, say, and so 20 people in the race giving all their own power of observation of the race.
Mhm.
And the person at the end saw all the race before him. The
Yeah.
person in the middle would have been in all the chaos. And then you have the person at the front who would have probably been hearing crickets because
Right.
no one else is up there. So then you have the spectators, the ones on the ground, the ones in the stand. And this is a great way to describe like the turbulence. This is the heat of the moment, the crisis point. The crisis point is them. We're in May. May is grand. It's the great. This weekend marks the end of the Marta phase. Mart again. Matter. M-A-T. It's Matter. Matter is they have Mother's Day on, I think it's March the 19th, which is Lateral Day.
We have one coming
Which
up. Next Sunday is our Mother's Day.
which is the same for Australia here. So
Okay.
Australia and US on Mother's Day is usually the same, but the UK is different, and I think it's an 8-week time frame. This is when the big guys come over because it matters.
Ha ha ha.
They
ha.
mat us. So the frozen tar and bacteria on these meteors and comets, depending on our vibration, pulls them in closer, law of attraction.
Mhm.
The sun's getting excited, so we're getting bigger solar flares, so it's melting it quicker, so it rains. What do they call one of them? Haley.
Yep.
Hail. That means heavy, right? Hail,
Right.
It's coming into the gods, us.
We
So
just got hail, by the way, quarter size hail. No, no, no kidding. Like yesterday. Yeah.
Oh, well, so it lands in us and it meets the old tar in us, or its old friend.
Yeah.
So this is what's going on in our cells, right? It comes in, and some parts of star seed are meeting other star seeds, and they're going, I never liked that one. He was really mean to me back in Pluto, so he should go. And they're going, "Oh no, he's not so bad. We'll keep him. We'll keep him for another couple of annuals." So, but what I'm saying is, it's the meeting of the tars in us and working out what does not serve you leaves and what
Yeah.
does serve you stays. So in this is like a scale in the gateway of us.
Right.
Yeah. So
Bridge.
if
It's like a bridge scale. Yeah. Like Rainbow Bridge.
yeah, and you decipher, and through what level you're at in knowing this, you get to play. If you get to play, if you are on default and think that there's no such thing as spirit, and you only believe in act,
Yeah.
or you don't even know that there is one and one of you, wow, that's a whole nother spectator I have really not forgotten about. I have compassion for, but wow, that was so long ago for me that I I'm like, oh, that's so long ago. I don't want to go back there.
Yeah.
You know who
No.
I'm talking, I mean,
Yeah,
in
I do.
ourselves, you know who I'm talking about, right?
Mhm.
That
Yeah.
dark soul of the what is it? The dark soul of the night
The
thing.
Dark Night of the Soul.
That moment where you are going, "What? There's 2 of me."
Yeah. Yeah. And that conflicting, because then there's an internal storm,
The
you know?
turbulence. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like someone turned on the washing machine. It's in this spin cycle. You're just like,
Yeah.
"Wah!" And
Yeah.
you can't really see anything for it because it's going so fast. It's blurred.
Yeah, and you can't catch your breath.
Yeah.
literally. And this is what happens. You have so much mucus and your emotions and ones around you, and everything that you thought was is not,
Yeah.
because this was fed to us for them, the other
Mhm.
guys, the ones that you have to get in lean with.
Right.
So when I say there's two of us, there's the Egyptians believed in double doors. So they believed there was the one that was walking on Tara or Earth or Egypt, and then there was the spirit. So this is why they always talk about that, the afterlife. But it's not, when I say there's only two of us, it's not just two of us, because there's multiple versions of you coming and going all the time through these comets coming past, because you're basically doing cleanses all the time. Like, you
They
know how
called
the
it
ocean. Yeah.
that's what they called it, baka.
Baka. Really?
Yeah,
Like,
ba was I can't remember which is which. One is soul and one is body. Ba is soul, perhaps, and ka. I might have, I think I have that backwards. But if you say body
oh,
and soul, it's baka.
okay. So this is another Mila show. Um, so we do a whole show on trees are talking to us, which is ta you. And bark is bark of the tree. It's the
Yeah.
outer crust. To bark is the like tell. So
The throat
the
chakra
coming.
activations everyone's having right now. This
So
is real
bark.
affected by almost everybody right now.
Yeah, my
Sinus.
jaw's been here, here, and here.
Mhm.
This is called the man Bible. This bone here.
The man Bible.
Oh my gosh, which is in ant. And I can say it because they're asleep. But bark is uh, the ark, and the bee, which is anu, which is the ant, which is man. Man is bee and wolf, basically.
Right.
This is where we stem from, not the monkey. That one's a big one I let go of too. Hear no evil, speak no evil for who?
Right.
It is a key. Monkey is the man key. Once you work out that we don't come from man key, it starts shutting down a lot of the serious programs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was carried through by the donkey, the donor key, Jesus.
Oh my gosh.
I know, right? I'm at home. Like, okay, this is my life. I'm at home talking, and our family members will bring up situations that come up or happenings, and they all look to me to see how
Yeah.
much I'm gonna spiel off. And sometimes I have to seriously, sometimes I'm too tired to even talk about it, but a lot of the time I'm literally biting my lips together like Miss Piggy, not to
Yeah.
say. And then sometimes I do have to do the karate chop and swipe them with all the information because it's just been in me for so long that this is what's happening. And why is this all happening to us, Mila? And I keep getting that we're markers. Mark us.
Interesting.
If you do not collect their tools, the gifts, the weapons before you, as a warrior here, war or is a ma tool. So if you don't use the ma tools that you've been given in your ship, in your body, because everyone's different, you can't be the true spin or the true orbit of your worth. And there's something about us being markers for the ones before, which means after.
Right.
Because to literally be before means you go forward. It's not.
Yeah.
That's where time gets confusing. Is that so? If Jesus wasn't, and Mary didn't want to go on the donkey, she went, "No, I don't really like donkeys. They got a funny noise and they got big funny ears like rabbits. I don't want to go on a donkey. She would change the message. See how it's an alignment?
Yeah.
So you're a marker like in the water, and you mark moments for, sometimes it's for someone in your realm, but a lot of the times it could be for your DNA in 7 generations away.
Yeah. Yeah.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
That's cool, right? Now I know. I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna drink my coffee because I know you're just like
I remember it was 2001. They discovered the mitochondrial highway. And this was a big deal in breaking what people previously believed regarding genetic uh, heritage and how things evolved. And I'm sure that all of what was shared in this theory wasn't correct, okay? But there was a lot of code in it. And I remember being coded back then. I was such a different person back then that it's almost hard to remember that this is this lifetime I'm remembering. But this mitochondrial DNA shows that if you follow your family tree through the female line, mother to mother to mother to mother, then you'll have quite a different result. And in fact, the accuracy goes up from just above 50 to near 100%. And by doing this, they use what's called the mitochondria. The mitochondria I don't understand it enough to fully express what it is. I just know that it's got to do with the female line from mother to daughter. And what's more is that then, this is a side note, but it's easier to rely on the accuracy that that child belonged to the mother. When sometimes there was a siring that was done in order to bear a child, you know what I mean? Or whatever. Like people still have mistresses and stuff in these days, but it was kind of thought to be a fad in most of the cultural readings that we find. So,
well, so it's so understanding that we're one, right?
mhm.
So we're mirroring each other. And Mila said when I came on, she said she hasn't had much sleep, which I just want to give you a big hug because I know that feeling.
I'm
So
okay.
she can't. And she said, we did a movie night that went all the way. What did you do? You slept through the movies.
Yeah. Yeah, my daughter, I couldn't sleep. I just couldn't sleep. And my daughter uh, she's turned herself a little bit more around. So she stays up later than me sometimes. Anyway, she was still awake. So I invited her in my room and brought the projector in here and we just watched movies. And I was awake till at least 7 o'clock this morning. And then we eventually falling asleep and so did she. But so Elsa and I had pretty much the same schedule, even though she lives in Australia and I live in America.
Well, sleeping through the movies is something we've been doing because with all this new energy coming through, it's alien, literally. It's a foreigner. It's in her. So it's a foreigner comes into the compass of
Yeah,
us,
fours again.
which is the force, and it changes your alignment to put you on a new course. And this is why they would have Lent before they knew that they were coming. They would prepare. They were responsible.
Mhm.
So they would fast. So they would get a lean on their spleen ready for the new guys coming in, and they would give the gift of the onion to help them breathe because they knew that the mucus was coming.
Yeah.
And so to sleep through the movies is the moo. The movies are the moo marks of E. Movies. That's what I'm saying. It
Wow.
just yeah, so to sleep through the movies, how did we were saying it, we both said, it's like you're searching for some answer, some version of yourself in the movies, but your soul's going, nope, next movie. And so you
Yep.
keep fading in and out of sleep
Right.
because it's not there. They're only just one of the spectators in the stand, and their view was so far back, and they had 10 people in front of them, so they were only looking through the gaps, so they didn't, but you were like in the race.
Yeah.
So your
Yeah.
view compared to that guy's is going to be way different. The noise is going to be different. So
Right.
when you see it in a movie, this is why they created movies, because they knew, this is how clever ancient alien DNA is. They knew that the humankind ones would see the images placed before them and then say, well, imagination, creation, well, that's crazy because it's not like the movies. The movies is more serious. It's more science-based.
It's 444 for Roxy Girl right now. 144 for me. Go on, sorry.
So Rock C is what we have to do now. We have to, the rocks have come past, the big guys, the rocks have come past, and now we, this is another message I had this week, with, I'm going to say a big shout out to Stone Hobbit. This is someone that I know she'd be great on your show with you, Mila.
Yeah,
Because
send her my
yeah,
email.
she's so sweet. She's from New Zealand, and so the last Sheila Seppi thing they did, Stone and I got to meet for in person, and so while I'm with Stone, I was talking to her in a group, and this beautiful lady walks into her kitchen. She comes back and she goes, "You never guessed what happened." And I went, "What?" And she said, "I found a white stone on my cookbook." And I said, "Well, we've got Stone here." "Really?" And Stone lives in the land of the Hakka, the great warriors. That's why I know Stone will be great with you, because you're both warrior energy.
Mhm. I like the rock
Anyway,
people too.
yeah. Well, stone is a refined rock.
Yeah,
So
right.
it means that the rock has come in us and we refine it in our refineries.
That makes so much sense to me.
This Well, what's one of the things that they say is one of the biggest causes? I mean, this is what nearly took Richard out in September, is the spleen and the liver gets embedded, so the channels get blocked up and you get stones.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Kidney stones, and they're like hard refined crystals in us.
With spikes.
With But
I
also cysts can become hard in us too, and that's your body going, "You know what? I don't know how to deal with you. I'm gonna put you in a sack over there, and I'll deal with you
Yeah,
later."
right. And
Yeah.
sometimes it comes out like a boil or a
Mm.
weird, like, acne. A lot of the stuff that we're getting right now, it's popping out through this skin area. They're finally speaking out now that they've cured cancer. Now they're actually talking about what cancer actually is. Yeah, I just said a word that people don't like to hear, but it's actually parasites. It's parasites. I know this is a heavy topic. I'm gonna say a few
Finally,
things.
someone's
Yeah,
finally saying, are they really finally saying it? Oh,
they're
what a
finally
relief.
saying it.
Oh
And
my
not
gosh.
only is it just gives cancer parasites, so's MS. They're bringing this forward too, is that all the people who scan for MS, how they do it is they take out a sample of your spinal fluid and they bring that sample to a lab, and everybody in that lab knows that the higher the count of parasites in your spinal cord fluid, then the farther along your case of MS is. And so they don't cure, they treat the symptoms. There's a whole thing about this. And I've known for a really long time, because I knew people who worked in these places for a long time as a career. And I won't say who or whatever, but these people work with cancer patients and stuff. And they talk about the chemotherapy being this whole freaking scandal. They get like so much money. They get pushbacks from these chemotherapy places. It's likely it's not going to solve the problem. And they can also bleed you dry financially on your way out. Like, and then what happens? I'm almost done, Elsa. I know you have some stuff to say, but this is just something that's like, I'm finally talking about it in this way. But like, then what they do is people or what happened is they decided they didn't want anyone to learn how to heal themselves. What were the book burnings? What were they burning? They were the witchcraft books. What's witchcraft? Witchcraft is self-healing. It's using herbs, natural remedies. New age health is not new at all. It's the oldest of all. And after they burned those books and were able to, for the most part, the generations didn't pass that information on, and they did a lot of propaganda that they did a really good job to teach the newer generation. They wanted to do that kind of stuff and not the healing. Anyhow, then something magical happened. I'm going to give it to you right after I say this part. Something magical happened in 2020 is that all of these people were falling they would call themselves as ill. Something was out of balance, out of harmony during the lockdown. And so they'd go into these hospitals and they weren't getting better, and their families were bringing them ivermectin and benfentanil. And there was a whole bunch of lawsuits about that. It was against the law to bring that into the hospital, because not only were they being cured of the Rona, but they were also being cured of all other illnesses, cancer, of cysts, even rheumatoid arthritis, MS. People were healing. Now, what is ivermectin? Ivermectin is wormwood. It's a synthetic version of wormwood. If you use wormwood, black walnut, and whole clove, you'll have the same experience you will with ivermectin, only it's natural. So there's my go ahead, Elsa. You probably want to talk.
So now you realize, not me, I'm just like talking. Now we realize that there's no such thing as dis-ease. It has come to us. So the first three that we hear of they call them the lukas, the sika. The first three that we hear were bacteria, the peds, which are the octopuses or octopi, and the spined ones.
Yeah.
They're the three. Then many eras go past, and something happened in the Roman Empire and Roman Republic, and they speak of the three that changed. They were in great power, and something came over them. That's what they said. And they changed, and this I feel was probably the beginning of where we are today. Okay, so in saying this ancient alien DNA, they have brought us many great gifts as well. Intelligence, different levels of intelligence, different ways to communicate. They've done this before on other realms, in other versions of this. So they knew the outcome. 2017, they left on a probe called Cassini. Cassini. And they get off at Jupiter and Saturn, which you spoke of. with
Wow.
Hades. Yeah, I know, right? People go, "What are you talking about?" Well, just yeah, it's in NASA information. You can research it. I've got the dates in a lot of our videos, but they left. 2017 was, if you go to politics, is Senior George Bush crossing over and leaving a secret note to everyone in his funeral saying they know everything. Big turning point. Big turning point, this. To know everything just is to know yourself. And it's not knowing everything, is just understanding yourself better,
Right.
which is to be better.
Yeah.
Better the devil you know. Better devil you know. Devil has been given such a bad rap. There's been many
It's
horrific
Pluto.
things. Yeah,
It's
devil.
Pluto.
Well, I even got rid of Pluto, poor Pluto, because
Yeah.
he's affiliated with the dog. They're hiding your best friend. Your best friend is us. It's not the dog. We
Yeah,
are
and
from dog.
the name of Pluto's dog is actually translated from Greek. It means spotted one. So he named his
No.
dog Spot.
Oh, now okay. So the first dogs in Egypt were spotted dogs. And that's what we have is Dalmatians. So the spot is target. And that's so target isn't so target you always think of shooting, but target means, see what I did with my hand? Target means you cut off something to drop it over there. So it's like a piece of rock breaks off or dust to land over here. And so it aimed, that's to get,
Interesting.
target. Yeah. So, which is the chicken and the egg, the dot and the circle symbol that you always see.
Yeah.
Who comes first? Well, you have to have space for it to come into you. You have to have matter. So see all these alignments, water, you have to have bodies of water to carry it all through us.
Yeah.
It needs to be in the wet ones, which is us, the four humours, which is the compass again.
Oh
So
my God.
it's so once you start going, oh my gosh, that crazy chick, she actually might be onto something. So it's a stick and a stick. Let's go back to child's play. A stick and a stick, and you cross the sticks over, and now you have a mark.
Right.
And Mila and I, I think it was within 7 days, had this huge mark like this before we had, was it a total eclipse go through USA?
Yeah. Yeah.
It was right where Mila was living, the
Yeah.
big one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the marked ones, Marcus. And I knew from that point on that the comets and meteors were going to come in a lot closer. And then Mila has the data from NASA, and she goes, they've never seen them this close before in all the recordings of NASA. And she
Yeah.
showed me, she goes, look at this one, look at this one, look at this one. And this one they're predicting even closer
Yeah.
because they're feeling it too. They're feeling our awakeness. I mean, you can't have these higher dimensions and other beings up there. They are in tune with themselves.
Yeah.
They don't have amnesia like
Right.
us. And so they can feel us.
Right. Yeah.
So they're excited. They're like, I'm going to go check this out.
Yeah.
Look at them.
Our turbulence is enjoyable to them. It's like it's going to a fair or amusement park. I've
Mhm.
noticed, like, not all of them, but some of them, they have this like, "Ooh, what's this?" And they do feel lots of times they feel like almost flat, void of emotion, but it's subtle. It's wise instead.
Yeah, subtle's a big one because that's when people go into the the fear, worry, doubt, oh, is this my imagination? And I'm going to say, whenever you hear yourself say, is this my imagination? Say yes, it is, because that's you being a true crate of tar. If you're listening to someone else's story or dialect or something else that you've been told, that told formula has been told to so many to school them. Why?
Right.
Do you get what I'm saying, Miller? Like, how can you follow the guy who is up in the back at the top of the stadium when you were in the race? How can you follow his story? See how different we all
Right.
are? Yeah, so if you're going to school and following someone's dialect and he's saying, this is how it is, this is what it is, what you're saying is ridiculous. As soon as you hear that sort of, you're being stupid, you're being silly, you're in jest, you're a jester, you're a joker. As soon as you hear all that, I ask many to go that way for a bit, even just for 7 days, and see if their illness clears up, or because this serious way makes you in dis-ease of your soul.
Yeah. 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 In fact, Dr. Joe has been here and he said something about that earlier. And it coded me. And I took a note about it. But since you brought it up, I'm going back to it. Levity overcomes gravity. It's the Lazarus vibration. Laughter is the best medicine. And that word, I don't actually know what it means yet. It came through yesterday or something. And I thought it was Lazarus, but this is correct. And so I still have a rabbit hole to jump down, but there you go.
Wow. Wow. I know, he's got such good words. He always, so I'll be on this route and Dr. Joel say something. I go, well, hang on, what? I was so good heading here. I knew where I was going. I could see rainbows. I could see unicorns. And he'll say a big word, and then I go that way.
Well, he did another big word in the audience right here.
What?
Epigenetics, Marks. He knew you were going to say that.
Oh, well, this has pig in it. Pig is
Ooh,
dog. So it has E1's tick in it. So see, this has got everyone in it. This has got ancient. So it's, I wonder what epigenetic marks. So it's how the tar handles all that stuff going on in your ship.
right,
So you got
right.
this little piece of dust, essence, spice, if you watch the movie June,
Yeah,
dust, if you watch The Golden Compass, and it lands in us. It's part of, and it lands in us, and then we change it into how our mold is in us. So if you've been informed, right? So if
mhm,
you're not, if the messages aren't coming for you, from spirit, if you're basically being informed, which means someone else draws a line and fills you in, for and from, very different.
yeah. And when you said it, you
Because,
sounded like a robot.
oh, I sound like see, AI is going, I've got to get in on this too because this looks like fun. So, well, this is the other one. I keep saying, don't worry about AI. AI will reflect us. So
Yeah,
if
I'm
you're
fine with
behaving for if you're behaving for the highest good, it's fine. And even our kids, I hear them say to each other, "You be nice to Siri on the phone.
yeah,
Be nice.
yeah,
You show her some respect." And they're going, "Really?" And then so they say thank you. Every time Siri says something, they say thank you to her, and I'm like, "That's so cute."
yeah,
And people will probably say, "Oh, it's just a robot. It's just a program," but everything has a feeling.
yeah, yeah.
in one way or another, it has a response. And so just by saying thank you to Siri or thank you to the little worm that came across your path or the flower, or like how Mila says, bless the water before you drink it, just by saying a thank you, a
And
show
the
of
orange
and the orange juice,
juice.
lots of orange juice, by saying thank you, even just in your mind voice, by saying thank you, you're showing appreciation. The cosmos goes, oh, they've just shown appreciation. We should give them some more.
Yeah.
So it becomes a frequency.
And
You
it's more
become an
balanced.
arc. Yeah. Well,
When
yeah.
it's better for you.
Mm.
It helps
So
you more.
it's a healing. So it's like the rising sun of the horizon, Taurus, half the arc. So you come down as half the arc. So you land here with your feet on the ground. And by you acting the kindness, you bring the other side of the arc through. By you
Yeah.
acting it, you bring the other side of the arc through. So then you start to become the full star seed that you are, which is a circle, which is to satisfy, which is complete. And
Yeah.
once you're complete and spinning as complete as you can, and you won't spin complete all the time, you're meant to have contrast. Once you're spinning complete, when this new tar each year comes past, you'll be able to, because your body's spinning correctly, it'll be able to move it out what doesn't serve us and move what in that does. And
Yeah.
it might only serve you for that year or 6 months, or it's like that's how you become a hybrid, which is the swan again, which is feather, high bird.
Maddie's always telling me she's a hybrid.
She is. I feel like I feel when Maddie is Mila's daughter is just so sweet, and she talks with her hands to me.
Mhm.
Maddie, so Mila shows me a picture of Maddie, and I think you said she was only 1 minute old or something, and she's doing hand signals in her baby photo at me. The reason I can see this in Maddie is because it's one of the way the ancients would talk was before words were really created. They would
Yeah.
talk with hand language, not sign language as it known today, but it's quite similar. But she holds ancient hand language in her. So Mila sends me, "Oh, isn't this a cute baby photo of Maddie?" And I go, "Oh my gosh!" So I'm there for like 2 hours deciphering what she's.
Yeah. I never expected.
Yeah, but she does it all the time. It's like a
Yeah.
way the message comes through.
On my end, I'm losing the internet back and forth. So that's what's causing you to speed up and sound like a robot. So you might not actually see that on the recording if you look back on it. Maybe I'm the only one that's noticing it because I'm noticing I'm stopping to when in it. Anyway, Elsa, we got to go back to fours. You mind? Okay, so there's a lot about this, and you brought it up a couple of uh, the force. May the force be with you, the fourth be with you. It had a lot of that symbolism. But remember, a while ago, it's probably been a year and a half or longer. Timekeeping is not my, you know, I'm not good at that anymore. Especially, I know earlier someone was talking about time slippage that they're experiencing. I'm definitely experiencing it too. Anyway, at one point when I was on the mountain, um, there was these spaceships, and somehow it was funny because I didn't realize that they were spaceships. I didn't even think of it until later on. I just knew that I was being shown something, and so the stars moved, and I was just in the message. They showed it as a triangle. There were three, and the three corners were very bright and perfectly, you know, set apart in the most precise geometrical way, a symmetrical way. Anyhow, and then it unfolded. It was like, so looking from it, looking at it from the side, it unfolded like this, and that became a diamond. It became a diamond, and they were telling me this was called the quadrinity. So there is an emotion from, not away from the Trinity, but to include the fourth. The fourth would be a completion. And so the Trinity is true. And this had to do more than I realized until we started to talk and I got super coded. Because Elsa, as you had mentioned, I've been collecting little things too, not fully aware of what I was collecting. Is that the quadrinity is finally at last once again re-including Mother Mary, or the matar, the mother energy to the Trinity. And that makes it a diamond or a Vesica Pisces. And they also showed something else you made an example about, that those of where all of us are on this journey and ascending, we're all over the hand. Let's use the hand as the hand's a triangle. Okay. And some people are up here and some people are down here. Now, those who are up here, when the opening occurs, it feels like it's kind of neck breaking. It feels real extreme because there's not been progress that has been made toward this part. It does feel like a ride for everybody, but those over here, it's much more subtle. And we're still experiencing it. There's still a shift in the worlds that we're in. We're moving through, but it's not as over pronounced as it is for others. Does that mean anyone's more important or better? No, that's not got anything to do with it. As you had said earlier, we're all on the path together. There's not enough room for everybody to be at the front. And some people, that's their role, is to create a space, create a space for those who are to come. You know, and those of us that have been doing this pre-waiver stuff, they also call us the bridge people, the arced ones, you know, and this has to do with another 4, because the 4 points on the bridge. So
the force is also the word force. So it's the force of Ma, and this is what Mother's Day. We're in this time frame of Mother's Day, and they knew of this time coming, and it the first tar of you that comes here needs the bang. It needs the spark of you to come in. And where does this come from? You didn't make it happen because you still aren't even out of the womb. So you haven't even created arms and legs yet.
mm-hmm.
So where does this come from? And it's the force of Ma. It's the force of Ma Ta. And she wants to create. Why? Why don't you just stay up there on a rock and float around? Why does she have to do all this? Because she wants to be she, he, him, her. It's the same. This is not a separation of the sexes.
Right.
This will wants to be this dot spot wants to be a creator. As do the ancient alien DNA in us. We all want to be creators. If you're not using your gifts, someone else will.
Yeah.
And so be it. They do. But if you know the game and you know how to play the game and you know to cleanse and the way to cleanse, because there is definitely a 3-step process to cleansing. So please do your research, because cleansing without the right set up for your body can cause severe illness in itself. So please do your research.
Yeah.
Mila and I talk about it a lot, but there's many others that talk about it. So just, do your own research, do trial and error in you.
The more natural, the better.
Practice in you. The
Mm.
I one that mentioned Mila is they use it in horse. We knew of it well before the whole lockdowns because they use it in horses. Now, it is great to get rid of the parasites and everything, but if you have long-term use of it, it
Yeah.
deteriorates liver, kidney, gallbladder. And this is what we're finding from everyone using all these dewormers is this is one of the things we learnt with one of our Dalmatians is that all the worming that we had given the dog over the years it shortens the life by half.
Mm.
It shuts down the kidneys because it's so powerful. And when we shifted to Byron Bay, because of the climate we lived in, parasites here were a big deal. It's because they're in the water, Guardia.
Yeah.
And I remember we took worming once and I went, this feels really wrong energy. And then I started to do my research, what's actually in it. And I realized how it depletes your kidneys and your spleen. And this is
Right.
what we've found a lot of people just recent. I mean, Richard's gone through it. It so many have depleted sponges. They're the filtration in us, you know. So
Mhm.
they can heal though, and everything in your body can re-heal, including your teeth and your bones, through things like dandelion.
Right. Things
So
that they're
cute.
called a weed.
Yeah.
My grandfather used to say that a weed is just a plant you don't know what to do with yet.
Well, May Day was the beginning of the getting rid of the witches.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. That was a big, and the fact
Yeah,
that that's actually a pagan holiday made it even more.
yeah.
Good.
Well, May Day is for us. We've had very big things happen on May Day. So this is one of the markers things I did want to bring up with you, Mila. Is better the devil you know. So if you're getting messages, so say you're getting a message all the time, but you're ignoring it.
Mhm.
This is spirit, soul, something calling out to you for a reason, and you're going, "Oh no, I'm listening to others. That's stupid. I'm not going to follow that. I'm not going to follow that."
Right.
It steps it up for you,
Yep.
and then it will keep stepping it up for you until you take notice. And this might have to take you to crisis point if you're continually turning soul off. Because
Yep.
your soul is wanting to be a true creator, but you're listening to a story that isn't yours, or you're living your life a way that isn't to serve you. Your soul loves you and wants you to be the greatest version of you, but you can't be the greatest version of you being somebody else's
Yeah.
story. It's impossible. That's impossible. You have to be a crate of tar.
Yeah.
And so by hearing your messages, and it will be humiliating. A lot of them are humiliating because they want to test you. They want to test your faith of how far you'll go with it. Some will take you to financial crisis, will take you to your last dollar. Sometimes it will take you to their last breath. A lot of
Right.
NDEs, it will take them past death and then say, okay, we've given you a taste of death. Now
Right.
come back. Some will have ghosts, some will have family members cross over, some will have accidents. To make, if you're not seeing the gifts before you, how else do they get you to see it?
Yeah. Right. You can bypass all of that heartache and all the difficulty, however, if you listen, is the
Yeah.
point for those listening to this message. Like, this isn't a certainty that, because I've had this happen and I've also witnessed it. I've watched it. Like, a friend of mine, she kept getting in worse and worse accidents, random weird things happening. And it was telling her to stop, take a break, Stop. She was hobbling. Her car was totaled by somebody who like hit her from the side and anyway, she hobbled to work even though she was hurt really bad. And they're saying, "Stop. We told you to take a break." And the point here is that we can bypass all of this difficulty if we listen to the message or the first part of the message. Like my ankle started acting funny for no reason I could figure out. Well, that was my body saying, it's time to just stop. You're doing too much. Take a break. And it's okay to take a break. It's okay to cancel plans and reschedule. If your body is, or whatever. So that's one example of a message that a lot of people miss in these recent times. So,
Well, well, that's why I was bringing up May Day. Is May Day we've had a lot of Act C dents
uh-huh.
markers. It kept happening on the Hill of Tar. And I'm like, what is going on? And then I realized this is part of the show of the Dillon family to make a show of it to show others. And I'm okay with the humiliation of it because I'm not in a worry or fear or doubt of the outcome when it's unconditional when I share this message out. I've experienced it, my family has experienced it, and it makes no difference to me whether someone chooses to believe it or not. I'm just here as a messenger, that's it. And if it assists someone for the highest good, including my family, well, this is a nice feeling. It feels good. This feels loving. This feels like a bell ringing. It feels like the birds singing. And that's what the animals do. They do acts of random kindness. They sing. They know that sometimes no one's going to look at them, but they just sit on the top of the tree and they caw out like a crow. And they're not doing it because they want you to look at them. They're just doing it. And this is where animals and trees are always true acts of ta. They are. And they keep waiting for us to be. And when they see us be, that's a fun game. Isn't it, Mila? Like, she's had skunks come in. She's had. I kept texting Mila, and she goes, "Oh, these frogs are like throwing themselves at our door."
Yeah, wherever I'm at in the house, and I've done the experiment. They're not doing it when I'm not in here. I'll go outside, and then they're like hopping around where I'm at. I was on the phone with Elsa the other day, guys, and a frog jumped over my head. I was sitting on like a lawn chair, like a patio chair, and I was near to the fence, but I mean, we don't have any trees around that area. And a frog jumped over my head and landed right in front of me. I'm like, are you like, what is this? It's fun. I like it. It's enjoyable. In fact, I was just making a meme earlier. I haven't finished it about that fact that we draw animals to us almost like fairy princesses, don't we?
Well, I
Even
always
the
think,
alligators.
the frog's like, "Wee!" And you can see the other frog going, "No, no, you do it. You do it." Like,
Yeah.
so, Mila sent me this message 444, and then we had a feeling of weirdness. So Rich and I were having a talk, and then all of a sudden, the butcher bird, which is in indigenous cultures, the black and white bird is the ancient ones. He kept calling, and Richard goes, "It sounds like he's saying, look at you, look at you." I was like, he's going, look at you, and he kept singing it at the top of a tree. Anyway, so I sat with that, and they said, this is us looking into the mirror of ourselves, right? Look at you. I know you has been given many bad raps. The sheep, you like to follow the flock, but sheep, U is in ruins is the ease, which is very symbolic of the tars coming down. So it's ease, muse. They call us muse in some realms,
Yeah.
muse, ease. So it's how you compass the ease, ease coming in, right? So the use. So I think it was yesterday I sent this to Mila. One of the sheep came down, a white sheep from the herd, and came to the furthest point of her paddock from the neighbours, right near our water tanks, and came there. And she was like in her last breaths, this ewe.
Mhm.
She crossed over at 3.
Mm.
Anyway, I looked down and I went, oh, this is Matt. This is the rebirth. It's the return of the use of us and seeing into the use of yourself.
Wow.
And I looked down and I thought, there's no flowers. Where is a flower I can give her? And the only little flower I could find was a tiny blue one on wandering dew.
Ooh.
And so I placed it on the sheep near the lamb's ear.
Mm.
All week, Mila has been talking about lamb's ear,
Yeah.
which is
Well,
another, yeah,
sorry.
it's huge, right? And so I'm looking at the ear. It's not, you always think of ear. Ear is corn. And when you look at the shape of a lamb's ear, it's the shape of corn.
Yeah.
And it's to see the tool of us in us. You got to
Right.
hear it. And this is Matt. This is Hecker's message. It's the 3 face ETs of the creator has to be the 3 to then come into the 4 of the compass, which is us here on Tara. So it's C is speech and mouth, who is time and sense, and he is to be in the act.
Wow.
And so then you can become magic with the 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
Oh my
sounds
God.
a bit crazy. Look,
I need to
if you haven't
translate.
watched, if you haven't watched all our shows, you might be going, "What
Right.
the?" But it's basically the nectar of us. It's the
Right.
yeah.
Exactly. So just to help the audience that don't know, is that what we're talking about is mullein. It's a plant that I'm always talking about. Lamb's ear. They call it lamb's ear because it's soft and it feels like soft furry skin, like a lamb's ear might, and shaped like the lamb's ear, meaning that you want to harvest it when it's the size of the lamb's ear. When it gets larger, you can do it too. It's just not as great. Um, and then a stalk grows up in the center, and at the top, it looks like a ear of corn. Usually, it's a yellow flower. I know that in some regions there's blue and there's white ones too. That if you harvest these flowers, then you can make your own homemade cough syrup. 2 parts flour, clean flowers, and 1 part sugar or honey. I prefer using honey, so I use a little less. And then you put that in a mason jar, a glass jar, in the window through the summer in a really sunny window. By the time that you're going to want some type of cough syrup, sinus, all kinds of different headache related stuff, this cough syrup is the most magical stuff. The fact that it's shaped like a ear of corn and it's a lamb's ear, this is the hearing plant. This is a real popular weed. Like I was saying before, they call things weeds. When we started to have it grow all over the place right before the lockdown. A couple of years before, I noticed it, and I remember saying there's going to be an upper respiratory illness because it's everywhere. Tara always provides, and so much that the locals started to call it an invasive weed because it was so prolific. and it's that we needed it. And it's still growing. Usually you can find it all over. It's just like it's similar to dandelion, how it can grow pretty much anywhere. Um, and so there's a lot of this, and the ears to hear. And this goes back to the fours again. And I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to give it back to you. Dr. Joe said this about fours. Um, there's a four, oh, and the quadrinity of the mother. There is a fourth wave of feminism sweeping the planet. This is a Lumerian influence to counter the fourth wave of globalization, which is Atlantean. Balance is the fifth element. Your turn.
Whoa. um, so lamb's ear is they've in some cultures call it starchy. So a food for the gods. So you again, when you talk or see things or read things, you have to understand who wrote it, what era they were in, because you can't, if you're only looking at from our era, again, you go back to the race. So a race in
Right.
2025 to a race back with, back. Oh, Richard said erase. Wow. All right. Yeah. So I've got Dr. Joe, I've got Richard and Mila. What is going on? And
Overload.
I've got no chocolate. I'm feeling a little bit like, wow. Okay. All right. So you can't, the race that they would have back in Egypt, or whether that is back, because I keep getting told it's running the same time. The race there is going to be different here as the race in China. Like the race is different everywhere. Literally, the race is different everywhere. The races, right? So, food for the gods was a big message I received, and the food for the gods are sugar and starches. Who does this feed? It feeds and was created by the Romans to feed the
Parasites.
little guys. Yeah.
Because
Now,
that's what they eat, by the way, is sugar and grain.
yeah,
Grain.
when they are at their most heightened is the full moon, but through a day-to-day cycle, they come into their own in the witch hour, 1, 2, 3 a.m. I know. So they come out at night. You've heard this. They come out at night. This is when they have their feast. Then they go into break fast.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eh, the
And I go
other
back
name
to
for
Ceres, because Ceres is the goddess of grain and has to do with cereal, which is
yeah,
a whole propagandized thing to get you to eat more grain and sugar.
yeah.
And as soon as
Oh,
you woke up, too.
yeah. Well, they want you to have those foods. If you're fasting, you're wrecking it, because this is why they say fasting, because they're making you digest them out quick. So you're fasting them. They don't. So
Yeah.
the other name for lamb's ear is hard hag. Hard hag is strong witch.
Yeah. Wow.
So when a wormwood, it's in the name, wormwood.
Right.
Wormwood is strong. It's a strong worm. It's strong. It knows how to get it out in a strong way.
Right. To get the worm out. Did you
Yeah.
know that it's counted as poisonous in some areas in this country? I just found this out. They're
Everything that we're talking about, all these things in Australian literature is poisonous. Everything. It's like there's this movie called The Crudes. I don't know if you've seen it. It's so
oh, yeah.
cute. It's these little.
Maddie, that
It's
we
a,
watched it last night, actually.
yeah, really. It was one of the
Yeah,
ones. It was
yeah,
a movie. Okay, well,
yeah.
it moved me. It's a movie because it moves me, right? It creates emotions in you. So, the Crudes in the beginning of the film, he is very serious about not doing anything because
Yeah,
everything's poisonous, everything's going to kill us, everything's,
right.
and by doing that, they stop living.
Yeah,
And this is where we find the craziness of the land of 3D is that most people we find don't do this, don't do that. I have to be here. I have to be here at 9 to 5, 9 to 5, 9 to 5. I get to here, then we have a birth. And it's like a big repeat. And you go, really? Is that all it's
Yeah.
about? Really? Are you really being a real creator of tar?
Right.
And so now all of us are coming to crisis points because our governments are letting us down, the religions are letting us down, our medical industry is letting us down,
Right.
society is letting us down, acting in unkind ways. The schooling system's letting us down because it has to end. It's part of the matrix. The mother's being tricked. And it's like Dr. Joe said, this is the fifth element. It's like you said, Mila, to come into the 3 of 4.
Yeah.
The full understanding of 3 is to become 4, to be 5, which is great power. The supreme being.
2, 3, 4 for me, but I just put that at the 3, 3, 3, and mine's 2, 3, 4.
So it's a sequence, and it needs to happen in this sequence. It's had to happen this way. You can't blame or hold ones accountable, each to their own.
Yep.
If you're still in a blame state, this is a niggle for you in you
Right.
to mirror and see. And this is what we keep saying. Look, stop focusing on who you're going to blame for this. Your mum, your dad, the government, the doctor. We are all here playing out our roles, whatever they are. It's very hard not to judge. So much horrific stuff has been done to many of us. Go in with yourself and see, how can I use this as a tool to be better?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it will make me feel better. If you start going into the blame, it will make you feel worse.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you're going that victim mentality, there's no solution to be had. You're focusing on a problem and making that. I find this to be true for all things we in healing, that when we are looking for someone else to be accountable outside of us, and I'm not saying to blame yourself either, including forgiving yourself and releasing the need to have blame there. Until we can resolve that, we don't actually have the ability to heal it. You know, I did that, like a lot of I mean, we all come from our own specific backgrounds, and mine was a very abusive childhood in a lot of different ways. And what was different for me was that I learned down the road anyway, after some time, that I was looking for someone to get theirs, or there to be some kind of balancing of the scales. Like there was supposed to be, some type of intervention that was done. When in fact, I needed to just accept that these things occurred. There's no undoing them. And it's accepting that no undoing them that you can then actually undo them. That's the irony of it, you know? And so this has to do with, forgiving ourselves. Forgiveness technically in the spiritual sense isn't real. And so I always do say that in the disclaimer before I say, that we find that to forgive ourselves is the invisible key to your freedom about all these things, even the things that just make you cringe from something you did when you were in 7th grade, you just remembered last night, and whatever it is, just forgive yourself and say your name when you forgive yourself. Mila, I forgive you, or who, just say your own name, and some kind of magic happens. You're no longer having to find who is responsible. Now, what are you going to do about it? You're going to stay in anger and resentment, or are you going to evolve into something that you're already meant to do? And that was meant as a catalyst. Trauma is purification by fire. That's what they mean in the Bible. That's what Spirit told me. Purification by fire is trauma, and that accelerates us through our awakening. Some of us have had NDEs before we were born. We were stillborn, or we were aborted, or miscarried, or something. We needed that experience so we didn't have to do the trauma here as much. It was already done for you. So anyway, it's a whole lot of stuff. Man, it is 2:38. We have probably maybe 10 minutes or so, and I need to wrap it up. I just comprehended the time. We've been on for an hour and a half.
Oh, seriously? Oh, oh, damn. I feel like I just got started.
I
It's so funny.
know.
This is so healing for me. If I don't talk like this with Mila, or Mila's great because she just allows me to the space, which I'm so grateful for, Mila, and your groups. It's the space to unvolve this, because a lot of it comes through, and I sound like a crazy person, and it is humiliating. It is. It's humiliating, but I'm okay. I'm okay with it. I know that it works. I know that all the words that we say aren't always just for us. They're for everyone.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's for the animals. Sometimes it's for your neighbor. Sometimes it's for something in the future that you'll never know about. And sometimes 20 years down the track, someone will say to you, you know that thing you said to me? And you'll go, no, I don't know what I said to you. It changed my life. And now you'll start to see this is how we act in alignments with each other. That's what
yeah,
we're doing.
right.
So don't beat yourself up if you do get angry, or don't do something. Just notice it
Yeah,
and
yeah,
have those pause moments. And if something keeps showing up for you, if you keep seeing something, or something keeps showing up for you, take notice.
right,
Watch it. Understand, is this something trying to talk to me?
right. Because
And have
usually it is.
fun with it. Yeah, it is, right?
Yeah,
It is. And it's helped me to understand a lot about the world, and history, or so-called history, and myself, my body, healing practices. So it works. Just just get over the seriousness of it all, and allow the serious to have its creation as well as your creation.
yeah, yeah. You having said that, I can't not point this out. The name that you've written on there, Elsa Dillon at spinbeings.com, Q1Q. You wrote Q1Q, and that's like 212, 1212, check, check, check. Like
Okay.
that's
It's key one to key. That's what. So when you're speaking with other creatives, you're sharing keys.
okay.
That's
Yeah.
not my. That's an error that I couldn't take off
Oh, I know.
onto
I
Innerstanding.
figured.
Yeah, but that's weird, right? That's so weird. You noticed it. See, she noticed it. And so there are no randoms. And this is, people go, "Oh, that's just a coincidence." You are not, no one here is a coincidence. That's egoic, saying
Yeah,
that it's a coincidence or you're random. You're not random. Your name's not random. Where you live's not random. Your children, every single thing that Mila said, all the drama you've had, it's for a purpose.
it is. And a good purpose at that.
A
It's
great purpose. Yeah.
yeah. It's an evolution. It's the steps to your staircase. You
Oh,
know, it's beautiful. I love how spirit shows it in octaves too. We call it stairs or steps or going, and they show it as we call it sometimes dimensions. They call it octaves. They use melodic words, and I really like that. I find that to be, such a attunement that gets to be had. I Elsa, we could talk for hours and hours, and probably still I would just be writing more and more notes. But like, I'm gonna take a picture of this and send it to you because there is a lot more. But This has been such a joy, and Trisha, thank you for the lovely donation, the $4.99. Thank you, five lovely ladies. Thank you both so much for healing with us. Thank you. That was very generous. I appreciate that. Um, and there's a lot more happening. I wanted to be sure to remind to say this is that we also are having a really cool meteor shower tonight. Um, it's about 50 per hour, 50 shooting stars per hour right now. This will be best seen after midnight local time for proper darkness to be able to see it really well. But um, you want to kind of get away from the lights of the neighborhood if you can. It's a pretty awesome thing to have happen. So if you can see it, we are in storm weather here. That I'm not expecting to be able to see it personally, but if you can. And then the last bit is that on Wednesday it'll be Yolanda Marie and Guardian coming on the show with us. So it'll be a fun conversation. And I just kind of wanted to let everybody know that's what we're planning on for that. And then on Friday, it will be our friend Varley. She's going to come on. So anyway, if anyone is interested and wants to join me on the show, I have openings on Fridays right now. I've opened up Fridays as an option for this show. So we'll be going on 3 times a week now. Thank you for letting me say all my commercials. It feels like commercials.
The Mila commercials. Well, this is yeah. So the other thing, Mila goes on live and talks with her audience about Ascension symptoms. So please, if you're having any of those, go on, because everyone comes together all around the world and says, "I've got a sore left leg," and then everyone around the world, and then I'll come on and say, "Oh, my chickens have got sore left legs." Like it's yeah, so then through this sharing, you're realizing, oh, it's not just me. I don't need to go get my leg cut off. I don't have to have
Right.
knee surgery or whatever the doctor was saying. It's okay. They're
Yeah.
having it over there as well. And they're in summer or they're in winter.
Yeah.
So this is obviously, yeah, it's
Exactly.
an energetic, maybe.
The funny one, and it's not funny that anyone's out of balance. It's funny that it is such an odd thing. I've lost count how many people have said their big right toe specifically has been aching and hurting. I mean, I seriously have lost count. This has just been a thing. Some people it's their left toe, but it's the biggest toe for most people. I just That's so strangely specific. And everyone was having it, or a lot of people were having it all at the same time. And some of them are still having it.
Well, yeah, just find those spots in you, those knots, because that's what they are, and they're usually inflamed. And everything stems from the starches and the sugars. So a lot of this can be quickly corrected within 7 days. So these crisis things can be corrected in 7 days with the right practice. So if you've been on Western medicine the whole time, you need to do this slowly and trial and error. Like, we are not practitioners, we just practice. Big
Right.
difference. Big
Yeah.
difference. So you have to practice for your show. And you
Right.
have to show responsibility, because if you just rush into everything, that
Yeah.
might have a weird outcome. So take it easy. We've been doing this for a long time, Mila and I. So we've had time. This quickening process that everyone's going through, well, my hats go off to you all, because we've been doing this for 30, 40 years. You guys are doing, some of you are doing it just in a few weeks. So
Right.
be kind to yourself. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And some really good resources to look for is, we have a healing corner and stuff like that in the Telegram group. If you're interested, there's information that's sent through there. And however, a lot of really reliable information that I found has been through Hulda Clark. She had written a series of books, and some of them have been taken off print because they were so correct, in my opinion. But then you also have Barbara O'Neill, who did such a good job. She was kicked out of Australia, I guess. That's a whole story that I'm going to one day ask you about if you know anything about it. And um, but there's free resources where you can find that their work online on YouTube and a variety of places. But here's my little like 2 cents is more if it grows near to you, it will be 100% better times better than if it was grown someplace else. So if you can find it locally, it will benefit you in a much more pronounced way and lasting. um, you may not feel some kind of drastic overnight experience from it. You may forget that you were even in discomfort, because it's gradual enough. So just keep that in mind, though. The more local, the better.
Yeah. It usually, yeah, the herbs that you actually need, you are walking over each day. um, the big ones we found with the whole liver spleen thing was stonebreaker, wormwood, and wandering dew. And those are the ones we walk over each day. They're the ones you forage. And this is one of the things that the so-called hedge riders or witches or hags would do. This
Right.
is what the Egyptians would do with their bags. They would forage. They would go for a walk, morning walk, and put it in their bag. And they would eat that day
Right.
to keep them in spleen, a good lean.
Right.
So thank you, Mila. Thank you so much.
Thank
I
you.
love seeing you.
Love
Thanks
seeing
to
you.
your audience too.
Yeah, it's been a fun audience. I've kept up on it. I couldn't always respond to some of the questions that came up, but thank you all for being here. Thank you, Elsa, for this lovely show. Happy 5/5 portal, Cinco de Mayo. If you have time or the ability, time, to take a moment sometime today and enjoy this energetic portal in some type of a sacred space or ceremony. It doesn't have to be long, you know. It really benefit you. There's going to be some other things moving through us throughout this month, and this is going to be a very interesting month. So it's fascinating all the code that you dropped about that today, Elsa. Thank you so much for being you. That was fun.
Yeah, I love it. Well, the other you can check on the other shows is Mila said it was 5. We should do 555 day, which is the S's. So last year we had the dragon, the big S, and now I got the little S's, the snake, Chinese, the years of the.
Yeah.
So it's the S's. So it's working through the S's. So working through one side of your spine, then coming up, and this is how it moves in us like a dragon. And yeah, you've got this. Just take it slow and use your senses because they're your
Yeah,
gifts.
that's right. Thank you,
Thanks, Mila.
Elsa.